Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. Got another question for you guys today from a viewer and a listener. I think he emailed in from the YouTube channel. So if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you go subscribe on YouTube. And if you haven't heard the podcast yet, make sure you go subscribe there. We're available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, Pocket Cast, Spotify, I said that already, Tidal, we're everywhere. So it's called the Clinical Research Podcast, so go listen. So this person writes in, I'm not going to say your name. Hello, sir. I am pursuing my Master's of Science in Clinical Research in India. I have my degree, which is a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. What would be the best country to go to if I plan to move abroad after my Master's of Science in Clinical Research? How can I prepare myself from now onwards for that? Thank you. Well, I am based in the United States, so I know the United States really well. And I've said this before again, I've worked with people all over the world, including in India. I've worked with people all over the world in the clinical research field. So the clinical research is everywhere. It's not just in America. Now, the top people that do YouTube and social media for clinical research do happen to be based in America. So it would seem that clinical research is only in America, but that's not true. There are jobs in pharmaceutical companies based all over the world. So you have plenty of options. So I want to just first open your mind to that. You can go almost anywhere and be in the clinical research field. It's not just America. Now, saying that, America does probably have some of the most jobs in clinical research, but it's not easy for people from other countries to get here, especially if you're from certain countries. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of that in this episode here, but it can be difficult, especially when it comes to having to do visas and having to get sponsorships and things of that nature. So when companies look at a candidate, one person requires sponsorship, one does not. They're probably going to go with the person that does not, unless the other person is very, very exceptional. So it can be very, very hard if you're immigrating to the United States to get a job in clinical research. So all things being equal and not having to factor that in, I would definitely say the United States is a good place if you want to be in clinical research. I would say also that Canada can be a good place, a little bit easier to immigrate to than the United States right now. That's a good place. France, they have some opportunities. India has some opportunities too. In the TMF world, data management world, statistics world, there are definitely opportunities there. You've got to do your research. I would definitely check these websites because they have operations all over. Some of these companies are multi-billion-dollar companies. They are some of the biggest companies in the world, so they've got to have operations all over the place. So I would definitely check America, Canada, India. Another place that doesn't get talked about as much, China. I would definitely look into China. Pharmaceutical companies are definitely there. China is hiring. They're in an economic boom right now. So I would definitely investigate that when it comes to clinical research. Another one is Japan. Japan, they have their own regulations and rules around research, so that could be interesting. But those are the ones I can think of. I mean, Europe has clinical research, so you could always go there. The UK, Amsterdam, I've known people there. You've got options. The US is not just the only one. I would definitely check out Europe. Denmark has operations. United Kingdom has operations. France. The Netherlands, Amsterdam, Switzerland, obviously. Roche is headquartered there, which is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies. So I would definitely check those out too. And you want to make sure you do your due diligence. You could first start by just seeing a list. If you could find a list of where are the pharmaceutical companies, where are the CROs located around the world, and just do some Google searches like that. And that would help you compile a list. Maybe I will make a video detailing that. Where are great places to practice clinical research? So with that being answered, those are great places. Now, how can you prepare yourself for that? So obviously you want to get your immigration handled. I'm not a guru on immigration. I get a lot of these questions and I kind of just sidestep that part of it. But obviously, wherever you can immigrate to is going to be good for you. You don't want to be having to hassle with the immigration and all that stuff, having to worry about that. So you want to get that handled before you obviously try to get into clinical research. So if you can get that handled, you're in a good place wherever you're planning on going. So that's one preparation step. Second preparation step is you've got to get experience. This is an experience industry. A lot of people hit me up all the time asking for what degrees should they get or what certifications. Certifications without experience do not matter. Degrees matter up until a bachelor's degree. After that, it doesn't matter. As long as you have that, it's easier. I've seen people with associate's degrees be in clinical research. A lot of times nurses, they just have whatever it is, an RN or BSN. You don't necessarily need a 4-year degree for that. I've seen other people with just random associate's degrees in clinical research. You can get in that way. So you can get in with an associate's degree, but it's definitely easier with a 4-year degree. I'm not going to lie about that. It's definitely easier, a lot easier with a 4-year degree. So you want to make sure you got at least that as a basis, a 4-year degree. That's transferable, that they're actually gonna, treat with some respect in the U.S. So you want to think about that, and then you want to get some experience. Experience is what matters. So you got to get experience in clinical research, and that's gonna make it easier for you to move where you need to move, because this is an experience-based industry. All right. So that's that. That's pretty much it when it comes to, if you're moving from India. But I would definitely make sure that there's nothing for you in India before you leave there, because, leaving and immigrating is no joke. That's definitely changing your life, uprooting your family if you have one, and, it's having an effect on your loved ones. So don't think that there are no opportunities in India either. India is seeming to have a great economic turnaround. You've got 1 billion people there. And I know for sure you got clinical operations there from some of the most successful companies in clinical research. So I would definitely want to check that out. So if any of you guys have any other questions you want answered, email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com for any inquiries you may have. Also, guys, resume review program is still going on, getting a lot of requests to review resumes. So make sure you hit me up immediately so I can go ahead and get you guys in before the holidays. All right, guys, take care.